The president tonight saying someone did him a favor, and Meghan McCain weighing in too. The scare at the ballpark, the little girl hit by a foul ball, the player, a father himself, breaks down in tears. The latest word on her condition, and tonight that player in his own words. Breaking news coming in, the last clinic performing abortions in Missouri could be shut down in the coming hours. Tonight, the new record on the U.S. border, more than 1,000 people apprehended. And our team witnessing the first raid of its kind, U.S. authorities targeting the human smugglers who make money bringing people to the U.S. The alarming new headline just in tonight involving the measles and the growing concern in New York City. The urgent rescue playing out tonight, the man trapped in this silo. And the shark scare, the woman swimming there on the right, unaware a shark was coming toward her. You will hear the screams from the beach.
This is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here on a very busy Thursday night. And we begin tonight with the warnings and watches up right now in the Northeast. 14 days of this now across this country. Outside New York City tonight and in Philadelphia, they are bracing for more storms this evening. Let's get right to the radar tonight, showing that threat moving through from there in Baltimore up to Philly to New York City. In fact, a tornado warning in Baltimore for a time today, forcing people to shelter in place. And the drive home tonight for millions, a dangerous one. Downpours for the commute. These images from Crystal City, Virginia. Nearly 400 reported tornadoes in this outbreak alone, 22 states. And these stunning drone images near Dallas in the last 24 hours. On the ground, you can see the damage of those winds, shredding a building and tossing pieces right into the air there. At this hour, delays and cancellations are mounting at several major airports. We have the track of these storms tonight, and Gio Benitez leads us off.
Tonight, powerful storms taking aim at the Northeast right in the middle of the evening commute.
Yikes! That tree just fell.
Drivers dodging trees and debris in Ellicott City, Maryland, and tornado warnings for Baltimore. Airport officials there warning people to take shelter as the storms roll through.
This is where you want to take your tornado precautions, get the kids inside, get your friends inside.
It's the 14th day in a row of severe weather. The 13th day brought bad luck and tornadoes to Canton, Texas. Watch as debris flies into the air.
Oh, power flashes, power flashes.
This incredible drone video shows the tornado tearing across the Texas landscape. Another twister touching down north of Des Moines, Iowa. And powerful storms slammed the Northeast and canceled more than 1,500 flights. The images from this 2-week outbreak of tornadoes and storms have been astounding. The damage apocalyptic. This is what an F4 tornado did here just days ago. One of the strongest storms in the season. Just take a look. This house is just torn apart. Those rooms completely exposed. Over 13 days, 398 reported tornadoes in 22 states and feet of rain. That's still causing a flood emergency in the heartland for locations along the Arkansas River. And David, here at LaGuardia Airport, they're seeing some of the longest delays in the country, more than 2 hours right now. And when you add it all up from coast to coast, we're looking at more than 600 cancellations, more than 4,500 delays. David?
All right, another miserable night ahead, Gio. Thank you. Let's get right to senior meteorologist Rob Marciano tonight. And Rob, if we can just get through tonight, everyone might get a break from all of this. But as you said, one more night.
Yeah, you can see we're in it, not just in the air, but things are slow here on the ground as well. Heavy rain falling in New York. We've seen a couple of flashes of lightning well down to our south, and flash flood warnings now for Trenton and Philadelphia. You can see it on the radar, a dense radar image there back through West Virginia, and flash flood watches up until midnight. Boy, Pennsylvania, you've had a tough go of it. Even some Intermountain West storms and the high plains as well. But watch as we put this map into motion. That front will begin to break down. There'll still be some weaknesses, some pulses tomorrow that will bring some thunderstorms to the Carolinas and western Great Lakes, but nothing too terribly organized. And that big blue H right over the center part of the country, that's right over the Arkansas River, where all that record flooding is happening. A couple of days of dry weather there. I think everyone will take that. David?
Rob Marciano with us tonight. Rob, thank you. And now to the other major headline tonight. President Trump firing off less than 24 hours after Robert Mueller broke his silence. Mueller saying if we had confidence that the president did not commit a crime, we would have said so. But they did not. And today the president was asked about that, his response, and the tweet from the president appearing to acknowledge Russian efforts to target the election. The president tweeting, "I had nothing to do with Russia helping me get elected." Terry Moran tonight at the White House.
President Trump today pushed back hard against Robert Mueller's stark statement that if he could have cleared the president of a crime, he would have done so. The president asked how that squares with his no collusion, no obstruction line.
But on obstruction, he said you can means you're innocent. That means you're innocent. Excuse me. Then he should have said, you're guilty.
But Mueller made clear that wasn't his call to make, citing a longtime Justice Department policy that his office does not have the authority to charge the President of the United States with a crime.
The Constitution requires a process other than the criminal justice system to formally accuse a sitting president of wrongdoing.
Trump's Attorney General William Barr, who did clear Trump of obstruction, was asked why he didn't leave it to Congress, as Mueller suggested.
He seemed to suggest yesterday that there was another venue for this, and that was Congress.
Well, I'm not sure what he was suggesting, but, you know, the Department of Justice doesn't use our powers of investigating crimes as an adjunct to Congress.
Now, Democrats in Congress are slowly moving towards impeachment proceedings against President Trump. At least 45 of the 235 House Democrats support launching an impeachment inquiry. And so do more Democrats running for president, enraging Trump.
I never thought that would even be possible to be using that word. To me, it's a dirty word, the word impeach. It's a dirty, filthy, disgusting word.
And then this morning, there was this remarkable admission from Trump on Twitter. I had nothing to do with Russia helping me to get elected, which he emphatically walked back less than an hour later.
No, Russia did not help me get elected. You know who got me elected? You know who got me elected? I got me elected.
The president today, Terry Moran, live at the White House tonight. And Terry, I want to go back to what we heard from Attorney General William Barr today, because 24 hours ago, Robert Mueller said that Justice Department policy prevented him from making a decision on obstruction of justice, whether the president committed a crime, appearing to suggest another route, Congress. But Barr tonight appearing to contradict Mueller, saying that Mueller could have made that decision, and so he decided himself.
It's a small but crucial contradiction, David. Both men agree that the Justice Department can't charge a sitting president with a crime. It'd be too disruptive of the government. Mueller said if you can't charge a president, you shouldn't make the call on whether he committed the crime at all, because that's not fair. Bill Barr said prosecutors make that call whether or not they charge a crime. He decided he could do it. He did, and he cleared the president. David?
Terry Moran at the White House. Terry, thank you. We have new reporting tonight on the White House request to hide the USS John McCain during President Trump's visit to Japan. Tonight, the president saying he did not know about the request, but added someone did him a favor. And tonight, Meghan McCain weighing in, and so is the mother of a sailor who died on that ship. Here's ABC's Mary Bruce.
The question tonight, why was this tarp covering the name of the USS John S. McCain just days before the president's trip to Japan?
I don't know what happened. I wasn't involved.
But as the Wall Street Journal was first to report, the McCain name was obscured because of an order from the White House that said the destroyer needs to be out of sight. When Navy leadership learned of the directive, though, that tarp was taken down before the president arrived. And according to the Navy, all ships remained in normal configuration during the president's visit. But the president says whoever did give that order meant well.
They thought they were doing me a favor because they know I am not a fan of John McCain. John McCain killed health care for the Republican Party, and he killed health care for the nation.
The president has been attacking McCain for years. In 2015, then-candidate Trump insisted the former Navy pilot who was held captive and tortured for 5 years in Vietnam was not a hero.
He's a war hero because he was captured. I like people that weren't captured, okay?
McCain died from brain cancer in August. His daughter Megan says the continued attacks against her father make it impossible to grieve.
Because the president is so obsessed with the fact that he's never going to be a great man like he was.
Yeah.
So it actually
Tonight, the USS John S. McCain remains stationed in Japan. It's being repaired after a 2017 collision that killed 10 U.S. sailors. The mother of one of those sailors, Petty Officer First Class Kevin Bushell, tells ABC News the president's focus should be on the sailors that lost their lives and not about the tender ego of this president because he is threatened by the late Senator McCain.
All right, Mary Bruce live in Washington tonight as well. And Mary, this evening, President Trump's acting defense secretary, Patrick Shanahan, who wants the job, we believe, was pressed about this incident, and he said he did not authorize or approve this.
Well, David, the acting defense secretary says he had nothing to do with this and is making clear he disagrees with the president, saying he, quote, would never dishonor the memory of a great American patriot like Senator McCain. David.
Mary Bruce with us as well. Thanks, Mary. There are new calls tonight for safety at America's ballparks after that scare overnight, that little girl hit by a line drive foul ball sitting just beyond the protective netting. Tonight, the latest word here on her condition and the player who broke down in tears immediately. Tonight here, in his own words, here's ABC's Lindsay Davis.
A baseball player overcome with emotion. Tonight, a young girl is recovering in the hospital after a fun day at the ballpark in Houston turned terrifying.
That one went sizzling off into the stands.
Chicago Cubs outfielder Albert Almora Jr. fouling one into the crowd, hitting the girl in the stands. The child scooped up by her parents. Almora, a father of two himself, falling to his knees in tears.
As soon as I hit it, the first person I locked eyes on was her.
After the inning, Almora checking on the girl, falling into the arms of a security guard. The girl carried out crying but conscious.
Right now, I'm just praying and I'm speechless. I'm at loss of words.
After a string of injuries, lawsuits, and the death of a woman hit by a foul ball at Dodger Stadium, stadiums have expanded netting to protect more seats. But the girl who was hit was sitting 10 feet past where the netting ends at Minute Maid Park.
Major League Baseball mandated more netting 2 years ago when a young child was hit by a foul ball here at Yankee Stadium. And just today, the Yankees manager said that he believed that netting should be around all of the stadiums in the league. David?
Heartbreaking for everyone involved there. Lindsay, thank you. And next to the developing headline out of Missouri at this hour, where the last clinic performing abortions in that state could be closed down in the next 24 hours. Here's ABC's Steve Osunsami.
The fight over the future of Missouri's very last abortion clinic brought demonstrators to the St. Louis Arch and to state offices downtown. State health officials here are refusing to renew the clinic's license until doctors agree to a series of interviews about what the governor claims are a series of deficiencies. The clinic could close tomorrow. A federal judge is deciding whether to step in tonight.
This is not an issue about the pro-life issue at all. This is about a standard of care for women in the state of Missouri.
This is all happening less than 24 hours after lawmakers in Louisiana passed new abortion restrictions that outlaw the procedure as early as 6 weeks into a pregnancy. Louisiana's governor, a Democrat, just signed the law this evening. Nearly a dozen states, including Missouri, have passed similar laws this year. At the clinic in St. Louis today, they're preparing for the worst.
The mood at the clinic today has been one of stress, higher than the normal level, and really serious concerns for my patients.
If this clinic closes, Missouri would be the only state in the union without an abortion clinic. The closest clinic would then be across the Mississippi River in Illinois, about 10 miles away from St. Louis, where they are already preparing for more patients because of this. David?
Steve Osunsami watching this story into the night. Steve, thank you. And we took note of a new record set at the southern border today. The largest group of migrants and asylum seekers apprehended, 1,036 people crossing near El Paso. President Trump tweeting this video from the Border Patrol showing the line of people streaming across. Officials say most were from Guatemala, El Salvador, and Honduras. And tonight, ABC's Matt Gutman is in Guatemala with U.S. authorities witnessing a first of its kind raid on the human smugglers. They make money bringing people to the U.S.
In the pre-dawn darkness, nearly 200 Guatemalan cops got their orders, loaded up, and fanned out. ABC News was there on this first-of-a-kind raid.
Every one of these police units, it has its own prosecutor who's riding along.
We arrived just moments after this man, alleged to be the transportation head of a large human smuggling ring, is cuffed. Migrants pay coyotes or smugglers an average of about $6,000. They must often pawn everything they own just to try to reach the U.S. border. U.S. Homeland Security investigators, some whose identity we've concealed here, providing intel to their Guatemalan counterparts, part of a new strategy to go after smugglers with the intensity they go after drug traffickers.
How many people do you think that they have smuggled into the U.S., or at least north into Mexico?
Thousands.
In April, about 110,000 migrants were stopped crossing into the United States, including a record number of children, 40,000. more migrants make the journey from Guatemala than any other nation, most trying to claim asylum after that perilous trek. It's something the Trump administration is hoping to crack down on.
Only about 10% will have a valid asylum claim. They will eventually be subject to removal, and that's a false promise that these smugglers are offering them, and they're giving up their life savings.
Consequently, David, many of those migrants are deported back to their home countries, some of them caught at the border, some after being in the United States for years. Now, the group here is part of 381 migrants deported back to Guatemala today alone. Many of them tell me they're going to try to go back up north to the United States. David.
All right, back up into the unfolding scene there behind him in Guatemala. Matt, thank you. Back here at home tonight and to Chicago this evening, where prosecutors have now charged R&B singer R. Kelley with 11 new sex-related counts. The charges involving one of the women who has accused him of sexually abusing her when she was underage. These are the most serious charges he has faced, and some of these charges carry a maximum of 30 years in prison if convicted. There's another news, and we have news on that missing mother of 5 in New Canaan, Connecticut. Police are not ruling out foul play tonight now in the disappearance of Jennifer Doulos, last seen dropping her children off at school. Authorities were searching a 300-acre park today. She's been locked in a bitter divorce battle. The rescue effort underway tonight in a grain silo in Butler County, Ohio. Emergency crews trying to free a man trapped inside. Oxygen tanks, a mask, and water have been lowered inside tonight. The measles outbreak hitting an alarming milestone. The CDC tonight now reporting 971 confirmed cases in 26 states, the highest level in 27 years. The majority of the cases in New York City. The scare in Panama City Beach, the swimmer right there on the right there, no idea about the shark to the left, and she does swim to shore, but that shark was not far off. And game 1 of the NBA Finals about to tip off tonight. The defending champ Warriors taking on the Raptors. Toronto fans already filling the area outside the arena, of course, known as Jurassic Park, 9 p.m. here on ABC. Tonight, America Strong. The boy who won the award for, well, take a look. Christopher Yancey of Woodstock, Georgia, was born with Down syndrome, a happy baby, a happy student with his classmates at Mill Creek Middle School. And tonight, a new milestone. Christopher has graduated from the 8th grade, and this was the moment they gave out the award for excellence in kindness. After high-fiving the front row, heading up on stage, you can see the excitement building up there right in front of the school. High-fiving teachers and the principal. And then at the end of the stage, he turns to his friend, and you can hear it. They love it too. And tonight, his mother, Brenda, telling us how much this means to her and her son.
I was so exceedingly proud of him. In front of 1,500 students, he was awarded the Kindness Award, and that just filled my heart.
It filled ours, too, the most important award you could get. And Christopher, with his certificate, with the principal, the chorus director, and his teachers, reminding us all, in the end, it's kindness. We salute Christopher and all those classmates cheering him on. Good night.